The letter was taped to my door like a slap in the face, the HOA's red ink logo screaming at me before I even tore it open. Violation notice, unauthorized garden detected at 1423, Willow Lane. Remove immediately or face a $500 fine. My hands shook, crumpling the paper as the scent of damp earth and fresh basil from my backyard garden wafted through the open window. Unauthorized. My garden, my little patch of tomatoes, peppers, and wildflowers, was the only thing keeping me sane since Mom passed last spring. I'd spent months coaxing life from that soil, each sprout a quiet rebellion against grief. And now Karen, the homeowners association president with her clipboard and her pursed lips, wanted to rip it all away. I stood there, the summer heat pressing against my skin, cicadas buzzing like a distant chainsaw. My chest tightened. This wasn't just about a garden. It was about control. Karen had been prowling the neighborhood for years, her eagle eyes hunting for any blade of grass out of place, any mailbox slightly tilted. She'd find Old Man Jenkins for his wind chimes, claiming they disturbed the aesthetic. She'd scolded Maria across the street for her son's skateboard left on the driveway. And now, my garden, my sanctuary, was her latest target. I sighed, long and heavy, the kind of sigh that carries the weight of 1,000 unsaid curses. I wasn't going to let her win. The next morning, I marched to the homeowners association meeting, the crumpled letter stuffed in my pocket like a grenade. The community center smelled of stale coffee and cheap air freshener, the kind that stings your nose. Karen sat at the head of the folding table, her blonde bob so stiff it could have been carved from plastic. "Ellie," she said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness, "your little dirt patch is a violation of Section 4.2, subsection B. We maintain standards here." The other board members nodded like bobbleheads, their eyes darting to avoid mine. I tried to explain, how the garden was for Mom, how it fed my soul, how it wasn't hurting anyone, but Karen cut me off. "Rules are rules," she snapped, her pen tapping the table like a gavel. "Pay the fine or lose it." I left the meeting with fire in my veins, the kind that makes your hands clench and your jaw ache. As I walked home, the neighborhood felt suffocating, every lawn manicured to death, every house a carbon copy of the next. I passed the community parking lot, a gray slab of asphalt where Karen's shiny SUV always hogged 2 spaces. An idea sparked, sharp and reckless, like a match struck in a gas station. If Karen wanted to play dirty, I'd play dirtier. That night, I couldn't sleep. The moon hung low, casting silver light across my garden. I knelt in the soil, the cool earth grounding me as I whispered to Mom's memory. "They can't take this from us," I said, my voice cracking. But Karen's letter loomed in my mind, and I knew she wouldn't stop. I needed something bigger, something that would hit her where it hurt. That's when I remembered Javier, the landscaper who'd helped me start my garden. He was a quiet guy, always humming old ranchera songs while he worked, his hands rough but gentle with the plants. He'd once mentioned a guerrilla gardening project he'd done in his old neighborhood, turning vacant lots into secret orchards overnight. I grabbed my phone and texted him, "You still got those fruit tree saplings?" Javier showed up at dawn, his truck loaded with peach, apple, and pear saplings, their roots wrapped in burlap. His eyes twinkled with mischief. "You sure about this, Ellie?" he asked, glancing at the parking lot across the street. I nodded, my heart pounding like a drum. Karen wants a war. She's getting one. We worked under the cover of darkness, the air thick with the scent of gasoline and wet soil. Javier's shovel bit into the asphalt's edges, carving out pockets where we planted the saplings. Each tree felt like a middle finger to the homeowners association, a living defiance. By sunrise, the parking lot was transformed, rows of baby trees stretching toward the sky, their leaves catching the first light like tiny green flames. The neighborhood woke to chaos. Karen's screech echoed from her porch, shrill enough to shatter glass. "Who did this?" she bellowed, storming toward the lot in her pristine white sneakers. Neighbors gathered, whispering, some giggling behind their hands. I stood on my porch, sipping coffee, the mug warm against my palms. Karen's eyes locked onto mine, and I swear I saw steam rising from her head. "Ellie, you little," she started, but I cut her off, my voice calm but sharp. "You wanted my garden gone, Karen. I just relocated it." The Homeowners Association emergency meeting was a circus. Karen ranted, her face red as a sunburn, waving a new violation notice like a battle flag. "This is vandalism," she screamed. But Javier, who'd slipped into the meeting uninvited, stood up, his voice steady. "Actually, ma'am, those trees are on public property. I checked the records. That lot's not HOA controlled, it's city land." The room gasped. Karen's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. I bit my lip to keep from laughing, but inside, I was soaring. The city got involved, and the plot thickened. Turns out, Javier wasn't just a landscaper, he was part of a local environmental group pushing for urban greenery. He documented our orchard project and sent it to the city council, framing it as a community beautification effort. The council loved it. They not only approved the orchard but awarded us a grant to expand it. Karen's face when she heard the news was a masterpiece, her lips pursed so tight they vanished, her eyes bulging like overripe grapes. The Homeowners Association was powerless. The trees stayed. But Karen didn't quit. She doubled down, slapping me with another fine for inciting disorder. I paid it, grudgingly, but the victory was bittersweet. My garden was still at risk, and every day I saw her prowling past my house, her clipboard clutched like a weapon. I started noticing little things, tire tracks near my garden, crushed petals on my marigolds. Was she sneaking around at night, sabotaging me? The thought made my stomach twist, but I had no proof. Then came the twist I never saw coming. Maria, my neighbor, pulled me aside one evening, her voice low, her eyes darting nervously. "Ellie, I saw something," she whispered. "Karen's been dumping weed killer on your garden." My blood ran cold. Maria showed me a blurry phone video, Karen, caught in the act, pouring liquid from a canister onto my tomato plants under the cover of dusk. The footage was grainy, but it was her stiff bob, her smug walk. I felt sick, the kind of nausea that comes from betrayal. My garden wasn't just a hobby, it was Mom's legacy. And Karen was poisoning it. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I took Maria's video to the city council, Javier by my side. We presented it alongside a petition signed by half the neighborhood, demanding Karen's removal as Homeowners Association president. The council didn't just listen, they acted. Karen was fined $2,000 for environmental damage and banned from any Homeowners Association leadership role. The neighborhood cheered when the news broke, a wave of relief washing over us like a summer rain. My garden was safe, the orchard was thriving, and Karen's reign of terror was over. The final blow came at the next community meeting. Karen showed up, her face pale, her usual swagger gone. She tried to speak, but the room drowned her out with boos. I stood up, my voice steady despite the lump in my throat. "This isn't about rules, Karen. It's about community. It's about growing something good, together." I gestured to Javier, to Maria, to the neighbors who'd rallied behind me. "You tried to tear us down, but we built something better." The room erupted in applause, and Karen slunk out, her head bowed, her clipboard forgotten on the table. That night, I sat in my garden, the air heavy with the scent of ripe peaches from the orchard across the street. The cicadas sang, softer now, a lullaby for the victory we'd won. I touched the soil, feeling Mom's presence in every grain. Karen thought she could control us, but she forgot one thing: you can't stop life from growing. Not when it's rooted in love.